What is up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing okay. I see Linda got her internet working again. I see, I see you. It's one of your first days back, and I already went at you. You know, it's your first day back, and I already gotta go at your throat. It's all love, baby. All love. All love. Give me one quick second. Let me do one thing here. This is messing with the camera, so we gotta switch out the hat. Anyhow, um, this particular topic today kind of came up last night on Too Strong, and I figured I'd address it here. Um, the Bible is filled with some stories and things and stories and stories and stories and things, and one of those things is the documentation of men with multiple wives. Some really big names, including Moses and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and David. Anyway, Solomon. A lot of them had multiple wives, but nowhere can you find that it was commanded, okayed, or exemplified by God himself in any of the things he said. Which leads me to believe that there were some things that he allowed to happen because of whatever those reasons were. Not approved of them, but allowed them. I think in even some places, because of the hardness of their heart, he just allowed certain things to be. Now, today, we're in a different covenant altogether. And there has been certain things laid out for people who are of the way. And he has addressed it in these times when it comes to marriage. So the idea should be, by all consensus, if you say you are a Christian, that you follow what he has put out as the way it should be. A man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. There seems to be a growing move, though, for this to come back. And one of the people leading that charge, seemingly, is Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has a sit down with a bunch of polygamists to ask questions about them, and I'm not quite sure the why. It does not seem like he was trying to change a whole lot or give them an insight as to what the word says. They talked about God, but they never mentioned anything about what Kirk knows God said, because I don't think Kirk knows what God says. So we're gonna watch a portion of this, and this is one of the first questions. I didn't tackle this one last night, but this is one of the first questions that led to the question to Tyrese, and I think it's essential that we. It's ironic that he called the thing "Den of Kings," because I have a suspicion that he wants to try and go back to that era of time. We'll find out.
Sorry. Do you think that you will look back on this moment, and now you're being honest and vulnerable in this space? Do you think that you'll regret sharing your story with people? Like, how do you handle some of the public backlash that you get?
Man, the first time we posted our sister wife, I'm talking about went viral, went crazy, but there was so many people.
Sister wife?
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's what it's called.
I love it. I've never heard that in my life.
For real?
That's
Hey,
incredible.
man, that's
yeah,
what
you
it
know
is.
what? I was trying to be cool, but I never heard it either. I was just going somewhere.
There's a whole show called Sister Wife.
I don't watch
Oh,
TV.
that's what it's about.
I don't watch TV.
I've heard the show. I didn't know this was about.
That's what it's about.
But continue though.
Yeah.
But we went viral and we posted our relationship. And like brother right here, it was just so much backlash. But then at the same time, it went viral because it was just so entertaining for people.
Now, in a lot of ways, what Kirk is doing is giving ground to the concept. And I don't think he's doing it from a perspective of actually trying to find out information, trying to get ahead of the game. Hold on. One second. I have to take care of this real quick. Anyway, so I think what he's trying to do is actually give credence to the idea. I don't think that he's actually doing something that is trying to combat the idea. He seems very, very much involved in it to the point where he wants this to take place.
And people were just hating. They didn't like the fact that we were doing that. They were like, what God gonna say? I'm like, what you mean? I'm living my life. I'm living my happiness.
How do you process though when people do bring God into the conversation with you and what you've established for your home?
Did you notice what he just did there? Did you see how Kirk just went along with it? No combat, no pushback. Just goes along with it. It's natural for him to just say, well, okay, cool. That's since you've established that for your life, how does that look? Like, what? Is there no foundation that you have that you stand on business on? You invited, they didn't invite you. Okay, they didn't invite you, you invited them. They're on your platform. If anything, you have the right to espouse that you believe that is wrong. Even in a conversation, you can have that statement made. That is crazy.
Man, for me and my wife, we creating our own happiness on earth. That's what God, in my eyes, told me to do.
Do you know how many people say that's what God told me to do? Do you know how many people say that? That is, wow. There is a verse, and we're going to read it real quick before we go any further with that statement that he just made. Matthew 7, verse 21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? Then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Kirk never asked him, who is God to you? How did you get that memo? What exactly did he say? And what do you mean by to me? No clarification whatsoever on any of the things this man just told him. In fact, he just took it and it's like, all good. Now, don't forget, Kirk Franklin supposedly is a Christian, and not just any Christian, like a gospel singer Christian.
Create happiness on earth. So we live in our life how we want to. You can't tell me I ain't did nothing wrong. It wasn't nowhere in that Bible or in the Quran or anywhere else that said this was a sin.
Do you see how people justify what they got? Did you see how people justify what they got? That is crazy. Look, I will tell you this. No pushback from Kirk whatsoever. He said nothing. He just sat there and inhaled it all. That is weird stuff by Kirk's standard right there. That listen, I'm sitting here baffled. Really, I am. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. But I shouldn't. Should I be in shock? I probably shouldn't be in shock. Genesis 2. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the two shall become one flesh, so they're no longer two, but one flesh. Even in the giving of the analogy to the church and the husband and wife, Christ left the example. Did you see how he did that? He told us exactly how husbands are to love their wives. He gave you the example of it. But for some reason, that Kirk never steps up to the plate, never says anything, never gives a push, nothing. He just sits there and lets this continue to go on. Now, look, I said last night, if you don't believe the Bible, then sure, Kirk has all rights to just sit there. If in your mind, the Bible is completely nonsense, okay? It nothing to do with you. It is just a passive thing. It's corrupted. Ain't no reason to listen to it. It's got some, if that's what you believe, then perfect. And this guy's viewpoint needs no pushback because you get to decide all of it. That's fine. I mean, it is fine because you get to, you believe what you want to believe. But that ain't what our boy here, Kirk, has espoused in his life.
What did I do so wrong? I'm loving two women. That's hard enough right there. Like Tyrese said, a bunch of periods in the house. So that's tough.
I just respect.
No, I'm
I
coming
might
to
as
you.
well get up from the table.
No, you're not. I got something heavy for you.
All right.
I got something heavy for you.
I got something heavy for you. When you hear the so-called heavy for you, I think it'll make more sense that Tyrese should have just got up from the table. Wow. So who truly believes that this man's actually a Christian? Let's ask the elephant in the room. Who really thinks that Kirk Franklin's a Christian at this point? Like, honestly, who in their right minds would honestly believe that Kirk Franklin has anything to do with God? I just want to, how do you square this circle?
But I do need to know, when you communicate like this and there are women that may be offended, it's because there are women out there that are wanting a traditional space. And when they know that there's more of them than it is men, and they feel like, well, am I going to have to acquiesce to this idea too, to be able to survive being by myself? Do you feel some level of, I guess question is, some level of responsibility to just to make sure that you're communicating, this is what I have established for me, but I'm not saying that this has to be God's way for everybody.
This is, I tell a woman off the rip, if me and my wife were looking, like, this is what we're doing.
If me and my wife were looking, I want y'all to listen carefully. Let's just analyze that. I'll take this down for just a second so I can have a conversation with you. Let's just analyze something for a second. What motives would you have to have in order to go looking for another female to add to your dynamic? What could you possibly be needing or having in your mind or trying to fulfill to find you or to go looking? You and your wife are going to go look. I will let you figure that part out, because I think we all know what the motivating factor in looking is. We know what that is, right? We know what the motivating factor. Can we be honest about what the motivating factor is? Can we be honest? We know what it is, right? Oh no, he just light skinned, man. He just red bone. He just red bone. Y'all know what it is, right? Precisely, Linda. Precisely. That's what it comes back to. It comes back to trying to give the mind a excuse for how it operates. See, if I call it my wife, then I'm good to go. It's a just because in their mind, they know it's wrong. They do know, which is why they have to try and justify it thusly, which is why they have to have it listed as a wife. They want to quantify it as okay. Now, if you genuinely thought having multiple women wasn't a problem, just have multiple women. And you should have the woman be okay with that being the case. In fact, just have them all move in. You don't got to marry him, right? But there's something in their mind and spirit that tells them that there has to be some sort of a tether to the correct way of doing it in order to justify what they're doing. That's what they're doing here. So even by their own admittance, they know what they're doing isn't appropriate.
If you're not with what we're doing, and you know, we can understand, and you can live how you want to. You know, it's no pressure for me. It's no pressure for her. It's no pressure for no woman to come and switch up and live how we live. It's no pressure. You can, if you want to be monogamous, be monogamous. We want to be poly.
So you want to be poly.
No, I want to listen to. I want to ask a question to the biggest.
It seems
one of the biggest.
You got a lot of poly questions.
I think you should try.
Well, I got a lot of poly questions.
Kirk says he got a lot of poly questions, Nick. He got a lot of poly questions, Nick. Got a lot of poly questions, Nick. Don't be asking me about that. That is I'm trying to find that dude's name. I think it might be DJ Monte. Let me find out if that's him. Hang on. I'll let you know in a second here. Yeah, that's DJ Monte. That's his name. DJ Monte. He got poly questions because he really is interested in the lifestyle, but from a different perspective in my mind. I think he's just wanting to find a way to come out of what he's been hiding in to let everybody know it.
Because this is a new space that I'm just trying to learn and understand.
But that's what I'm saying. You got a lot of, are you curious about it because you're interested in it?
No, it's because I know for a lot of people, this is new conversation.
For a lot of people, this is new conversation. So just because it's a new conversation, you got to have it? Is this where we are? Where we just, oh, it's a new conversation. We just must have a new conversation. Okay, cool. Why? Because, why? Just because.
There are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to learn. And think about it, Tyrese. How many times do we as Black people have conversations that are not argumentative?
Of course, he's got to bring it back off of what he's knowing that it's going to go to. Because this is where Tyrese was going to go take it. You, sir, have some issues you need to address in your own personal life that they can see. And he'll get to it in a second. You don't want to address it. But you're here talking to us about a way for you to come out, but you don't really want to come out. Kirk know he want to come out the closet. He don't want to come out the closet in the most blatant way, but he want to come out the closet. So you switch it to black.
Ooh. Conversations that are not offensive.
And Tyrese was like, Tyrese was like, he should have just said, Negro, shut up. Negro, look, listen. I see right through you. I see right through you, bro. You see, Tyrese, I will commend, of the two of them, I'm going to commend Tyrese. Why? Because he handled it like a pro. Tyrese became more of a, how'd you put it? A believer in the way of standing your ground than Kirk ever did.
So here we are as great Black men, and we're talking about things that are taboo, that are not traditional, and nobody is being disrespected. Everybody's voice.
Ali has been around as long as Islam.
But you do know it is not a conversation that is normative.
But it's not normal for Christian folks who live their lives according to one man, one woman, wife, sanctuary. Exactly. And if you think anything outside of your wife, it's infidelity. If you do anything outside of your wife or your husband, it's infidelity. If you flirt or have an emotional relationship in some capacity, it's infidelity. All of it.
Because the book we follow says so. And Tyrese knows what he's saying. And I agree with Tyrese. Here's why I agree with Tyrese. Tyrese is not saying he follows the Bible. He's not saying he follows the Bible. But you know who does say he follows the Bible? That guy. That guy on the screen right here says he does follow the Bible. And he just heard somebody say something about his belief and does nothing to push back on it. At no time does Kirk either confront, combat, negate, or contradict anything these guys say. No, Tyrese is a singer. I bet you know who Tyrese is. I will bet you money, Kings. I bet you I can tell you right now who he is to you, and I guarantee you'll know who he is, but you don't recognize him. I'll guarantee you money. If you grew up in the 90s, 80s, 90s, you'd know who he is. If you grew up and you saw anything on TV and you saw commercials, you'd know who he is. You ready? You ready for me to tell you who he is? You want me to remind you who Tyrese is? This is Tyrese. Tyrese was in a Coca-Cola commercial. He was one of the most viral Coca-Cola commercials ever. He was him walking onto a bus, sitting down and singing, yeah, 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 always Coca-Cola. Y'all remember that one? This black guy on a bus singing Coca-Cola. That was Tyrese. That's Tyrese in his youthful days. Yeah, that's Tyrese. Mr. Coca-Cola commercial back in the 90s. Yeah. But Tyrese never, ever espoused that he was a Christian. Both him and the DJ dude just say that they follow God. Who? I don't know who they consider that. I'm not quite. That's what I mean by Kirk not pushing back to ask that. We never found out. Never found out. Never found that out. No, he's not. And that's just the thing. He is not a Christian. No. He is saying that Christians are the ones who have problems with poly, even though it's been around for forever. But Tyrese does not read enough to know what it actually says to Christians about our Christian belief. Again, if you do not believe in what the Bible says, then fine. Okay. I understand that you don't think it's something that is spoken against, but Kirk knows. Kirk knows. Kirk knows. And Kirk didn't say a word. Nothing.
How do you feel about that?
Listen,
how do you feel about people that feel that way?
Listen, man, I will say it again. We should be committed to waking up every single day and doing the best we can with pleasing God. We all fall short. Your version of sinning ain't got nothing to do with me.
Except that it does. Except that it does. Therein lies the problem. And Kirk says nothing. So it's one of two things. Either Kirk doesn't know the word, or he doesn't care enough about Tyrese to tell him. Either Kirk doesn't know the word, or he doesn't care enough about Tyrese to tell him the truth. Therein lies the biggest issue for me with Kirk. You just had a man tell you that my version of sin ain't got nothing to do with him, except that it's not my version of sin. If I say I follow the Bible, then it's God's version of sin, not mine. And if I say I care about your soul and I see you actively doing something that could make sure that you never make it to heaven, I should have the care to tell you. Kirk doesn't do that.
You could explain to me what you said, what you thought, what you wanted to do, that you stopped yourself, what you almost slipped up and almost did, and I can look at you and judge you, or I could just be there and be a part of the conversation.
Or what I tell you should be something that would affect you to the point where I show you that you're wrong. Now, if what I show you, you still don't want to change on, I am now absolved. Because I told you. I did the one thing that I was supposed to do, which was tell you. Kirk never does that.
It's very simple. Look, I got a that's been married for 35 years, who's never cheated on his wife, and he has told his wife and established from the beginning, I love strip clubs.
Then he has cheated on his wife. I'm sorry, but he has. I don't know what to tell you. He has.
And he goes to strip clubs, and his wife is at the crib, and he has never took anything off the pole. He watched sports at the strip club. He's at the bar. His boys meet up with him.
Does he eat those wings?
Yeah, but it's not in Atlanta.
I've always heard
It's an
about
LA
wings.
thing.
I've never been to one before.
The strip clubs in Atlanta are known for the food and whatever that happens. Which
You see how he took the conversation from something serious, and he could have made it. He had an opportunity right there to help Tyrese in understanding the concepts that make a man want to go to the club. He didn't do that. Instead, he made a joke about wings. Wings. He had an opening. He had right there. He had the perfect opening. He had the absolute perfect opening to at least give Tyrese some sort of an insight as to why that's a problem, even though in Tyrese's mind it's not. He didn't do that either. I heard about wings.
Which is a whole nother thing I don't understand. I don't do strip clubs.
Okay.
I'm too cheap for strip clubs.
I've never been.
I make it rain and I recycle.
I just know about the wings. I just know about wings. Like, what, you're a crack addict now? He think he funny. And he's thinking everybody's supposed to laugh at this joke because that's a funny thing. Everybody talks about going to the strip club to eat wings. Ha 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 ha. Y'all laugh with me. Please think I'm funny. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
That be scooping up money that I just threw on the floor.
I never been to strip club.
Ha ha. Kiki, Kiki, Kiki. He was a part of all kinds of stuff. Tyrese's hands are not clean. But I have a suspicion that Tyrese is seeking way more than Kirk ever has. And I have a reason for saying that. And I'll show you here right now what I mean by that. I'll show you why I say that.
That is covered because ain't nobody in their world or have anything to do with what news they woke up to today. They ain't posting about. Now, here's the thing. There are people that enjoy posting and talking about what they doing and what they wearing and the dynamics of their marriage or their relationship. And that's a choice. And so the fact that this brother got married and y'all posted, rather the photos was beautiful and y'all did whatever y'all did, there's some people that clapped and cheered, and there's some people who wanted you for themselves.
Now, is there merit to what he's saying? Yes. Logic. Very good logic. Understand that. Again, Tyrese has, at least in my mind, based on what he's about to say, an inclination of right and wrong. He just has the ascribing of it way off. Tyrese still has in his mind a line too far. Kirk doesn't have that line, which is why I say Tyrese might be closer to finding an actual relationship with God than Kirk. Kirk is like being too close to the forest for the trees. That's what I mean by he might be in a better position. Kirk, I think, has been so inundated with the idea of church that he can't do no wrong. So he is just going to be doing what he's doing, not realizing he's way far away. Tyrese is far enough away that I think that when he does see what's wrong, he'll be way faster to commit to being it completely right than Kirk ever will. That's what I believe about Tyrese. I'm not saying he's there. I'm just saying he's in a much better position to see his wrong than Kirk ever will be. Kirk is into having a form of godliness and denying its power. Right now, Tyrese is lost. But when Tyrese sees his position before God, I think he'd be way easier to convince that he needs to change than Kirk ever will be. Watch.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
Right? So we all fly. There's some
You don't like my shirt.
I still can't get over it. But I also don't like how many buttons you down, right? But come on, man, bring that up. Anyway.
Did you see how serious Tyrese was? Even for Tyrese, that was too much. Even for the man who just told you about what Christians find wrong, for a man who justified another guy going to a strip club and leaving his wife home, even for Tyrese, there is a line too far that on a Christian man that he should know something is off and doesn't do a thing. Instead, he laughs about it. Think about it this way. You're the Christian. You're the Christian. And you decide to go amongst men and dress with a shirt like that. Not for fam, you gay, bro. You gay. Okay? Kirk Franklin is a homosexual. I think we can all admit this by now that Kirk Franklin is definitely not a straight individual. Kirk Franklin gay. Okay? He's been gay for a while now. And I think people just need to understand that he's just struggling to get out of the closet because he believes that a lot of Christians are going to stop listening to his music. But I think he's at this point where he's not caring anymore. He gay. He gay. Tyrese pretty much called him to his face. Now watch again how serious he was.
That is covered because ain't nobody in that enjoy did whatever y'all did. There's some people that clapped and cheered, and there's some people who wanted you for themselves.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
Right? So we all fly. There's some
you don't like my shirt.
I still can't get over it. But I also don't like how many buttons you down, right? But come on, man, bring that up. Anyway.
Straight to his face. Directly to him. Bring it up. Now watch his reaction.
So at the end of the day,
I hate this.
You got to understand that there are some people that just like, I cannot arrive at, it doesn't matter how eloquently you spell out the caption.
He was dead serious about what he called him out on. He was dead serious. I don't like how low down you got that, button that up. And instead of saying, man, look, you're right. Sorry. Let me stop real quick. I'm sorry. You're right, brother. You're right. Button that up. In fact, it shouldn't have to come from Tyrese. It should have come from the conviction that you have that you in amongst men and you're dressing with a female shirt on in female colors with your shirt all the way down to your sternum and making sure that you constantly stretch it out so people can see you gay. And Tyrese just called you out to your face. Even Tyrese has a limit. Kirk doesn't. And one is saying that he believes the scripture of God and follows it. And so far, at every turn, Kirk does not do anything to bring Tyrese or anyone at the table to knowledge. Not once. Don't forget, Kirk is also the one that said that he's going to show everybody how far gospel music and the world can blend. You ain't seen nothing how far hip hop and rap and gospel music can go. Kirk Franklin, for all the great songs that he's produced, and I do mean great songs, they're great songs, does not have a relationship with God. He just doesn't. When he did the song, something about the name Jesus, right? All scripture, all scripture. The song was entirely scripture in 1998. And we keep saying that they know how to get you in to listen because they have to put a monicum of truth with what they do. So he has to put that. Why wouldn't you? I want you to listen to me. I speak scripture. Good for you. We got to listen to Kirk Franklin now. Only to come back 5 years ago to say that the lamb was going to bow down to the goats of rap. He finally got people to where they listen to him and they hear him. And now he can say what he needs to say. Because you're seeing in real time, he was confronted with people who say something antithetical to the book he says he follows, and he did nothing to clap back at it. Now, he's not the only one. In fact, you will find this my idea with many black preachers. You'll find this idea with many of the other gospel artists as well. They don't really have a foundation that they stand on. They go by singing, and they go by how good they sing, and they go by how much we talked about yesterday, the feeling, how they can make people feel when they sing. I can get you into a frenzy, or I can get you into tears. Look, if you can make people stop thinking about what God logically said and have them feeling things, they will genuinely believe the stuff you say. Emotions are huge. Why do you think the people that push for abortion don't want you to talk about the realities of it? Because the realities of abortion will indeed induce an emotion. So what do? Go to the opposite emotion. They go to the opposite emotion of what about the woman's choice? But the logic is that you're taking a life. They don't want to talk about that. The reason why Kirk didn't say anything is because Tyrese was right. He is curious about the poly life, to know that and this is the kind of poly life I think that he's going to go into. Listen carefully. If Kirk ever takes up the poly life, it'll be multiple husbands, one wife. Watch. It'll be multiple husbands, one wife. And many of those husbands, if not all of them, will be gay. And Kirk will talk about it as though it's okay. Because your version of sin ain't my version of sin. But hey, we were told that this is what was going to happen. We were told. We were told this. In Matthew, okay? In Matthew chapter 24. Let's go there. Matthew 24. And let's go down to almost 12. Okay. In fact, let's just read it. Matthew 24. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, see, ye are not these things. Okay, he's going to go into some interesting information here for them. Do you not see these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone will be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming at the end of the age? Jesus answered them and said, take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. They will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my sake. And then many will be offended. In walks people like who? Kirk Franklin. In walks people like Kirk Franklin. Why? He has been offended by the gospel. Everything from the LGBTQ to what is right and what is wrong, he is offended by it. Many will be offended and will betray one another and will hate one another. And this, you might think, is love, but Kirk hates believers. He even hates non-believers because he wouldn't tell them the truth. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to the nations, and then the end will come. I am not worried about the end of times the same way that we have no idea it's coming and when it's going to be here. It's above my pay grade. My job, my only job, is to endure. That's it. That's my job. Endure. Kirk does not even want to share what the truth is about the things he says he believes because he does not believe them. Kirk doesn't believe them. He's trying his best to integrate what he actually wants of the world to his belief system and eventually have everybody else do it because he is an influential factor in this. Believe it or not, like it or not, Kirk has influence. The comment section, okay, the comment section in that video. I'll just read a few of them for you. Let me find it here. Okay. This is the comment section, okay? Let me read a few things here. The fact that I'm a woman and I tune into Den of Kings like clockwork and cry my eyes out shows how beautiful this safe space that Kirk has created for Black men. God, I pray it touches you all. I want to send this to every Black man I know and come across. And to any man watching this, if nobody tells you, I love you. I'm with Tyrese. I don't want what you have. I only want what God has. I love how Kirk do not judge these men that he invites into his home. He allows them to be vulnerable, open-minded, and authentic. Kirk Franklin, keep the tables coming. This is Stomp. This is a revolution. You are helping people. I appreciated the realness of Sky and the love he exudes for KJ. I give Kirk the utmost credit for taking this task. It is extremely beneficial to the collective all the way around. So whether we want to admit it or not, he's an influential factor. And right now, he is the worst kind of influential factor. The absolute worst. But there are many, and especially women. I'm sorry to tell you all this. 90% of the comment section are women. Women, all agreeing with this. I really love Kirk. This is how you teach people. What did he teach them? He didn't teach anything. That is, whew. Anyway, I figure I'd bring this out because some of us may still have people that we just like in terms of, you know, um, gospel artists or Christian influencers, um, and we may like them to the point where we're not actually listening to what they say. I know I fell prey to that to many of them. So it might be that you have somebody that you listen to a lot and you don't actually listen intently to what they're actually saying. I would advise you to one day just kind of take it and listen to some of the things they say and see if it actually fits the gospel. See if it fits. But the reason they're going after these particular things is not abnormal. It says it because it's in the book. It says it in 2 Timothy 3. But notice, in the last days, perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness like everyone at that table, denying its power. From such people turn away, for this is the sort who creep into households and make captives of gullible women loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. He could have brought that verse up and shut the whole table down. He didn't do it. Anyway, hope that gave you some insight into what's going around in the world. This is going to become more and more normal. And you're going to see it become a natural part of the body that they call the church. It's not going to influence the actual body, but what the world sees as the body will be affected by this. It will be. 1 second. It will be. And it will be horribly affected by it. But again, hear me out. It was foretold. And all you can do is throw seed. Just sow it and let the rest be. Just so. Just so. Savage Pictures will be on today. I have not set up the event yet, but we will be doing a live today. So please tune in. We'll be talking about a app that some of you may already know about. And it is called the T app. This T app is supposedly about women that are trying to supposedly save men from, or save other women from crazy men. But in the interim, what's been happening is that a lot of these women who are vindictive and hateful towards certain men that they know end up going onto this app and lying on men and getting them into some very, very dangerous situations. And there have been rumors that some men have already taken their lives because of it. There has been some speculation, and not just random speculation, but warranted speculation, that some men have been known to be harassed by this and ended their life. So we'll be talking about the dangers of it and what exactly that would do. So my wife decided to go and download the app so she could see what it was about. And so I'll be taking, you can't do anything. The only thing, you can't take screenshots of it. You have to use your phone to take things of like that to send to other people. It's affected things close to home as well. So I understand the dangers of the app. So we'll be talking about that on this. Yes, so she could figure out what was going on in it. And so we have access to it now. So, but check in with us 6:30 Eastern, and Too Strong will be live tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. So tune in then too. We're going to try and go live every night tonight. We're trying a new approach to things, and it's been working pretty good. So we're still trying. Of course, we're fighting, the system of, YouTube. We're trying to fight the system of YouTube. So far it's been kind of working in our favor. Kind of. I say kind of. Wakanda. Anyway, we'll vibe with y'all on a later day. Have a grand rest of the day. Love y'all. Mean it. Scrolling at the bottom, you know what to. Where is it? I'll say scrolling at the bottom, but I don't see it no more. There it is. Okay. Scrolling at the bottom, to thank you for all of you who have sent something, anything there. For those of you who have sent letters, thank you. I've gotten quite a few letters from people. Appreciate all that you guys do. The prayers especially too from the group as a whole. You'll never know how much your prayers really help and how timely your help and assistance is. Honestly, really, really, really grateful. Anyway, so that's scrolling at the bottom. You know what to do with that. But we'll see you guys later today. Have a grand rest of the day. Wisdom calls you from the street. So please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight for dreams, for if dreams die.